What up YouTube, it's Missouri's Company. It's been a couple days. I've been a little busy with the holiday at work as well as my real life, but I am back now with a video for you guys. And in this video, I want to talk about the 5 things that are going to be on my Diablo Immortal wish list. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Now, right away, you're going to notice that I did finally move my camera because it has been in the way in several videos, and does seem like the bottom left corner is the one that makes the most sense. So sorry for those of you that have watched my other videos where it blocked the content, and thank you for reminding me to do so because I finally did it. Now, jumping straight into it, I do have 5 things that I want to put on this Diablo Immortal wish list. Diablo Immortal is a phenomenal game, and I'm, of course, enjoying it. That's why I'm still making, relatively, I would say, I did miss the last 2 days, like I said, but basically daily content for Diablo Immortal, because I'm enjoying it. So, but there are 5 things that I would love to have in the game that would make it just that much betterer in my opinion. The first one is going to be a damage calculator or a damage counter. So in WoW, there were 2 different add-ons you could use, or I'm sure several, but 2 that were mainly recognized. Recount, and I want to say the other one was like Skita, something like that. I don't know, whatever. But there were 2 main damage calculators. It's been years since I played WoW. But like it could be over here in the corner, and while you're either doing dungeons or raids or, you know, Keons or whatever you're doing, you would have a damage calculator show how much damage you're doing, either total damage or DPS or damage per second, and then how that relates to the people in your party or even in your raid group. To me, that is a really nice quality of life, even if I'm just overworld farming. It also allows us to really min-max our builds because you can see the exact damage percent that you're doing or the damage per second, and that way you can really build different builds based off that information. Obviously, this already exists in the game to some capacity. You just have to make it more forward-facing for the end user to see it. I'm sure it takes a decent bit of development to create, but I do think this would be a nice quality of life that a lot of people would appreciate. I know a lot of people that play this game are very analytical, like myself, and there's a lot of different stats that go into this game, and they all do slightly different things. So it really does, in my opinion, make sense to try to have a more obvious damage per second calculator. So that's going to be my number 1, is the DPS counter. Number 2 is going to be more farmable reso. Now, this is going to be a hot topic. So resonance, or reso, is going to be something that is, of course, going to be looked at and scrutinized no matter what capacity you talk about it, because it's the main pay-to-win function in the game. Now, you could obviously make an argument for normal gems being pay-to-win. I'm not saying they're not, but they're more grindable now than they used to be. But resonance, once you get to roughly around where I am, like 3K, and maybe even a little above now since you have the 2 extra slots, you basically are capped. Like, unless you spend a ton of money, you're not going to be increasing resonance anytime soon. And when you do, you're looking at maybe like 80 to 100 resonance that you push. Like, if I were to upgrade one of these from a 5 to 6, A, it's going to take forever to get all those gems. And then B, when I finally do it, it's not going to feel great. I'm not going to have any noticeable improvement, and it's going to actually take months. Now, I do think they have a system in play already. They just need to further expand on it. Now, the system in play is going to be the Telluric Pearls. I think this is a good addition to the game, but it takes way too long free to play, because of course you can buy them, but it takes way too long free to play to try to get 40 in order to get 1, because it's going to take, just from level 4 to 5, I want to say it takes 5 additional 5-star legendary gems of the same exact gem. And then 6 is going to be even more and more and more. So, yeah, it's just realistically, you're looking at literal years in order to, as a free-to-play or even low spender, to increase your resonance at any adequate amount of speed. So I know it needs to be grindable, so I do recognize that. Like, I'm not saying that it should be easy to obtain, but there should be an obvious road outside of just time gate like we have with these Telluric Pearls. So for me, if there was a way of grinding it where you can maybe get 1 additional Telluric Pearl, even if it's daily, but you have to grind X amount of whatever, so that way it's like you have to put in the work to do it, then I think it would be fair, because you don't want to take away the value from those people that did spend money in order to increase the resonance. And I totally get that and agree with that and understand that, but I do think a grindable way of getting Telluric Pearls would be a nice addition to the game. Number 3 is going to be the equipment upgrade. So when it comes to blacksmith upgrades or your legendary equipment upgrades, the level here, as you can see, I'm at 21, 20, 19, 19, 20, 20, and 10 and 10. So they did just add 2 additional slots, and the current cap is 30. So there's a few different ways I would recommend adjusting this. And they did, I would say, at least attempt to make a catch-up mechanic. So if you go to your Hiltz vendor, Down here at the bottom, you can purchase 15 each of these 5 enchanted dust and 50 of the scrap materials. Helps a little bit, but it's also obtainable to the same people that have, don't need the catch-up mechanic. So to me, I don't know if it should be like maybe it's something where this is increased based off how far behind you are. And then I know that, again, you run into the issue where, well, at that point, everyone's just going to catch up and be at the same level, and you really do want to reward the grinders, and I agree with that. But right now, in its current state, no, I'm never going to be anywhere close, and I play this game daily for several hours a day. I'm never going to get anywhere near close to 30 on all of these unless I literally grind even more than what I'm already doing. And I'm already playing, like I said, several hours a day. Now, the reason I'm behind is because I did take, I want to say it's like 3 or 4 months off from the game in between playing this game and a different one. And I was making content for it, and I was making content for a different game. So I literally am just 4 months behind permanently. And if I were to go, let's say, on a vacation out of country or something, not that that would ever happen, but out of the country, then and I don't have access to playing the game, then I am directly punished even more for not being able to grind on my sort of normal schedule. So again, I don't know a great way of fixing this, but right now it is the most frustrating thing for me, at least, that I think for new players, when you come to the game, this is a ton of combat rating to upgrade all these different items. And now that we have 2 more pieces, even more. So I just wish there was a better catch-up mechanic for that. And like I said, I don't have a great option, but something that you still, again, kind of like the Residents, you still have to grind for it. So it's not just completely like, here, just, a participation trophy, you just here, take this. But again, I think that would be, having some type of way of catching up would be great. Next is going to be the charms. Man, I haven't made a video about charms in a long time. It is a rough system, and it's several layers of RNG. And you want, when it comes to a charm system, like, I'm okay if it has a couple layers of RNG. And if you don't know what RNG is, it stands for random number generated. So basically, if you wanted to upgrade this, you're going to get 4 additional slots for this rank 1. In order to get to rank 5, you're going to upgrade it with basically material from other simple charms. And then you're going to be getting 4 different random additional skills upgraded. And then in order to get the skill you want, you either have to purchase it or do that same process all over again on a different charm. And then you run the chance of randomly getting one of them onto the one that you want. And then there's another layer of RNG, a third layer of RNG, as to what percent you get. So you see all mine are at 2. They go up to, I want to say 10 is the highest. It could also, like, and you have to get the exact slot. So let's say both of these are 5. Both of these are, grand charms 5 and 5. Let's say I want this spinning shield on this one, and I have spinning shield on this already. I have to land on it, and then it could be anywhere between 2 and 10% randomly generated, and then I could, move it over. So it's literally 3 layers of RNG. Even if you shave off 1 layer of RNG, I think it makes it so much better and so much more enjoyable for the end user. Like, if it basically, in my opinion, the one thing that I think it would make this so much better is that anytime it lands on an existing skill, so let's say I had spinning shield over here. Dang it, I'm literally blocking this again. So let's say I wanted crossbow shot, since you can see it, and I wanted crossbow shot over here, and I already had crossbow shot. If I landed on crossbow shot when it does the random generated selection of it, and I land on it, it should always be an upgrade. And it, like, that in itself would make it so much easier. It's still 2 layers of RNG, but shaving off that 3rd layer makes it so much more tolerable, in my opinion. Moving on. I cannot believe my new camera location already got in the way. That's amazing. Last but not least is going to be, and we got a hint of this with the balanced PvP, but I really do, where's it at? Is it already gone? It might already be gone. Maybe it is. But I want a permanent easy queue for PvP. So something that isn't time gated by certain windows of which you have to be on at a certain time, but something, it's more of a mobile game function where you can log in at any point. Let's say you're in the doctor's office and you're in the waiting room. You can queue at any point and just jump into PvP and enjoy it, whether it be balanced or non-balanced. I understand why you wouldn't want both or one or the other. There's arguments for all of it. But the more different PvP there is, the less people playing all the different ones, which means the matchmaking is going to take even longer. I fully understand that, but I do think making Diablo Immortal more of a mobile game when it comes to PvP would be really ideal for a lot of people, because there's been a lot of times where I'm like on my break at work or something, and I have 5-10 minutes and I just want to jump into one quick game, but I don't necessarily, my timing doesn't necessarily line up with what battlegrounds are, so I never get to PvP that much. So that's going to do it for today's list. This is my wish list for Diablo Immortal. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that I missed or anything that you would, what would be different on your list, and I would be happy to answer as many comments as I can. Thanks again, guys. I hope you had a great holiday, and until next time, lock it in.